Welcome to today's Operation Greatness Freeing the Matrix Parasite Cleansed Focus Wealth Immersion Action Pod number 79. This is true currency protecting your energy like it's your money. Invest your life force where you know you'll get a great return. What comes to mind immediately as you hear those words, true currency protecting your energy like it's your money? You know that where you give your attention, you are giving your power. That's becoming how you are creating your life and how we are creating our world. That's the ultimate currency of life, where you are choosing to give your attention because that is your energy. So, how are you using your energy as the investment it is required to be for you to have the life that you desire, that you require for yourself to have? Like, this is making me think of the rule of fourths, where if you think of, that you have your physical body as, let's say, the vehicle for your mind, and yet you also have your energy body, like your emotions and feelings, and then you have your intellectual body. You can think of your emotions and feelings and your intellect as comprising your mind, and then you also have your spiritual body. So if you think of the rule of force, like are you devoting 1/4 of your energy to keeping the physical vessel strong, vital, healthy, vibrant, like exercising every day, like eating healthy foods and avoiding the junk, right? Keeping yourself like yoga postures or stretching so that your joints work well and you don't have inflammation, you don't have aches and pains, which would, if you ate poorly or didn't treat your body well, then that would interfere with your ability to use your energy for the higher faculties, like living your purpose. So then your emotional body, are you nurturing the relationships in your life? You're cultivating happiness and self-empowerment. You're putting good messages into yourself, like through auto-suggestion. You're keeping yourself attuned and aligned and in balance and in harmony and de-stressed and recharged and rejuvenated, like you're going out into nature. You're sitting out in the sunlight. You're being present with life. Those are ways to invest your energy, your currency, your true currency, in your emotional body. And you're around uplifting, healthy, supportive, empowering, encouraging people who support your vision and believe in you, and they know that you deserve everything you want in your life. You're not around downers, negative people, worriers, people in fear, scarcity, lack, right? So the company you keep is incredibly important as you are getting that positive ROI on your energy. What about intellectually? You're reading good books, right? That uplift you and inspire you and help you fulfill your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. You're all consciously aware of what you are feeding your mind because you're not feeding it garbage. You're not giving any of your power, your life force, your energy to the quote news, which is disempowering. It's about, well, it's scarcity, fear, lack programming. You're not exposing yourself to any of that. You're not feeding it any of your attention. you're very limited in the amount of scrolling that you do on social media, where other people are just complaining about what they don't like in their lives or they don't like in our world. That would be feeding on that. How would that ever be a positive use of your power? How would that give you any kind of positive return on your energy invested in that? These are important questions, so really answer these all thoroughly and discuss your answers with us in the freeingthematrix.com mastermind, where we can go deeper into all of this. What about the fourth of your energy that you are devoting to your spiritual growth? Because that's what your positive ROI is you're growing yourself in each of these four areas, your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your spiritual. So are you meditating to begin each day? Are you visualizing, which is how you are creating your day, like the night before? This morning, I'm going to get up. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to just jump out of bed. So excited to start the day and to be of greater service to more people. See, that's like your energy body. You're controlling your energy, right? And then, and then you're visualizing that day, everything going well. Like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to create a great podcast. I'm going to create inspiring posts on my social media. I'm going to make a difference to people. And you're doing this specifically for you, like, whatever, like back when I was assistant managing editor at the last newspaper where I worked. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to put out the day's edition and it's going to be great. It's going to help a lot of people. It's going to catch their attention. It's going to show them how they are going to lead a better life today and how they're going to make a difference. So you're that source of inspiration for others, right? And then are you studying? You're taking like a half an hour to meditate, or an hour would be better, or 2 hours, or 10 minutes at least, or 5 minutes, or 1 minute, and you're just going to give yourself to God. That's how I would use to describe what happens for me. You might use a different word than God if you have blocks against the cultural representation of something that's beyond the mind to comprehend. If you're just communing with life, maybe you're sitting out in nature and you're communing you're in the currency of life, which you could say that's the true currency, and you're doing that for a minute, 20 minutes, a half hour, an hour, or you're living there in communion with life, or maybe you're reading a spiritual book, the Bible, for example, or whatever that is for you. And how are you doing that every day? Maybe you attend service on Sunday or Saturday or Friday or Wednesday or, whatever it is. And yet, what else are you doing? Or maybe you're praying before you go to sleep, and after you get up, maybe you're expressing gratitude for the day. I mean, these are all examples of things that will give you a positive return on your energy. So reflect that for yourself. Go deep into all of that. It's so incredibly important to manage wisely and especially to be, I mean, if you think, I've heard about people who run their lives as though it is a business and they're that mindful of how they are using their time, which is, you can't manage time. So that's a misnomer, time management. You're really managing your energy to be accurate, right? And because that is the true currency that you have, what you choose to give your attention, which is where you're giving your power, which is how you're creating your life, which is how we are creating our world. So managing your energy, your actions, your mind, your focus, your attention, that is your true power. So I want you to reflect on all of that. And I mean, all of this alone right here is a worthy investment of your energy in writing the essay where you're sharing your answers to all of this, like how you're designating the four quadrants of your life. And are you lopsided in the physical? I mean, like, the person who's like in the gym for like 2 hours every day and runs for an hour and they're maybe they're spending an hour at the grocery store just to buy, three or four things because they're so, I mean, is it in balance between the four? Is your life in balance between the four? Are you lopsided toward the physical or are you lopsided toward the mental? And you don't take time for relationships or to eat healthy or to exercise or to move your body? Or is spiritual just completely neglected in how much of the world are they spiritually bankrupt because they haven't used their energy wisely to grow that area at all? And then they're feeling empty and they're looking in relationships or food or sex to fulfill what can only be well, what is spiritual and can only be found within themselves. If they're looking out here for happiness or peace when it can only be found within, well, then give in and go within. Turn your attention inwardly and give that part of you its due share, 25%. Or is it really, I mean, if you think of it like a pyramid, maybe it's like a pyramid and you have to make sure the physical body is working well, so maybe that does require more time, like to eat slowly and carefully. That's important too, right? In terms of your physical body. If you're leading your Operation Greatness chapter in your community, then you're doing the video of this where I diagrammed, I made with my hands a pyramid symbol so you get the visual of the base of the pyramid supporting everything else, like the other three bodies. And so that does make sense that your physical body would be more of your focus because you're taking time to chew your food and eat carefully and consciously, mindfully, not just stuffing it down your face. And then your relationships, like taking time for your children and to be present in their lives and to be the role model that they require you to be. And then your romantic partner, you're nurturing that. So I guess it is more like a pyramid instead of 25% in each area. Or, except I mean, how much does the intellect, it could consume so much more of your time. And by the way, when you're just scrolling on your dumbing device, that's not feeding yourself intellectually. And what would be an appropriate way to feed yourself intellectually? Like self-help books, probably, or success and prosperity mindset training, like being part of our freeingthematrix.com mastermind, and especially Operation Greatness, leading your own Operation Greatness chapter, where every day in every way you're becoming better, right? So you're building that muscle, you're building your ability to focus. You're building your discipline muscle. You're bettering yourself. I mean, all of that would be the appropriate use, not just scrolling. That's while using the dumbing device just makes someone dumber, right? And the spiritual, I mean, is it a pyramid? I mean, I want you to think about that yourself, reflect on that. Or if you are communing with God in harmony and balance with the cosmos, then everything just falls in place. Everything is aligned in harmony and balance. And you're not distracted by things that are insignificant or trivial. You're keeping your attention, your power, your energy, your vital life force on what truly matters, on what is true. And so maybe, like, what if you devoted 8 hours a day to quiet reflection, meditation, contemplation, doing your spiritual work, and then everything below that just fell into place. So I'm asking you to answer these questions yourself. Is it a pyramid where the spiritual stuff is more important than anything else? But what if you gave that more of your attention than anything else? What if you inverted the pyramid so that it was wide at the top and small at the bottom? And your physical, could you just take care of things as needed and you stretch and you take care of the body and you maintain the physical vessel well, and yet and then it's aligned and it doesn't, there's no sore thumb that's demanding your attention. There's no pain points or dis-ease because everything is running smoothly and it's all just kind of flowing and taking care of itself because you did your spiritual work. See, I'm asking questions. I'm not answering for you because you answer for yourself. You determine what's right for you. You're not letting anyone tell you, like imposing their set of beliefs or their stories on you. You're determining what your beliefs are, what your inner knowing is, what's right for you, because that's appropriate. Would you agree? So reflect on all of that. And I want to switch over to an image that I saw on Facebook. And let's talk about this because this, I mean, I can share with you this image if you're watching the video by leading your own Operation Greatness chapter in your community that's through our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. It's a subset of that. There's an image that says true currency, and then it has on one side like a stack of money, and on the other side it has the earth in the center with a bunch of hands around the earth, and they're all connected by a field of energy. And then let me read this to you, and I want you to hear this and really contemplate this. You might want to pause in many places in this to reflect on each point. Treat your energy like you would money. Budget it, save it, find ways to increase it. Invest it where you know you will get a return. When you place value on your energy like you would any other form of currency, you will be surprised at how much changes in your reality. Our energy is our true currency. Money is just symbolic for exchange of energy. This is why you pay attention. There's so much within this. I really like that, especially the last part. This is why you pay attention. Because where you are giving your energy is where you are paying your life force. So choose wisely with that. Like I say, it is important for that to be an investment, not an expenditure. Not just wasting your energy. Like, is there anything of merit and value in scrolling on your dumbing device? Or is that just a wasteful expense of your life? You could say your life force, your energy, and you could just be honest and say of your life. Are you getting anything out of that other than a cheap dopamine rush? Is that serving a positive purpose in your life? Is that giving you a positive return on that expenditure of your energy, of your life force, of your life? Or is that just wasting like hours of your life a day and you could use that time to create a business for yourself and to serve people? Is, let's be honest here, because let's go back to our emotional aspect or our emotional needs. Is the time that you spend on your dumbing device or on social media or on the computer, is that artificially meeting your need for connection, your emotional need for connection? And yet, is that feeding that emotional need, or is that just leaving you unfulfilled and disconnected and emotionally empty, just like the spiritual need that we all have? Is the spiritual is the way that you have been feeding or filling your spiritual need, leaving you more bankrupt and empty inside, and then you're seeking that balance or that need in other ways, like intellectually, maybe by scrolling on the dumbing device, because you're looking for some kind of a message like a hit, and you're looking for maybe the relationship, like, well, when I find the right person, then I will be fulfilled. Well, and yet it really is that just an empty space holder. I mean, all these questions are really important to answer for you personally, because I want your energy to pay you dividends where you are choosing to invest it wisely. Because you're paying attention, you're paying your life force, you're paying your life where you're expending it, where you're choosing to give your attention. So, how are you budgeting your time? How are you saving your time, your energy, to be more precise? How are you increasing your energy? I mean, do you notice when you go out and you take a walk around the block or get out into nature, you feel enlivened? You have more energy, right? Or when you serve people, when you do something great that makes a difference, you feel enlivened, you have more energy. Yes, you spent energy to serve people, and yet you feel enriched, recharged, rejuvenated, filled, right? So that's the way that you grow your energy, increase it. What about saving your energy? Like, I mean, to me, like wasting it on the dumbing device, scrolling on social media, for example, that's just making you tired, lethargic, weak. That's not saving your energy. You're saving your energy by getting enough sleep, right? By drinking enough water, by eating healthy, vibrant, vital foods. That's building your energy. So there's so much within this. My purpose is to introduce you to this conversation, and I want you to have this conversation with yourself. And to be very clear, and we can also talk about all this in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. So let's just read this again and just really pause and reflect on the parts that are most important for you to hear and for you to bring into harmony and balance. This is called true currency. I'm just reading you this message again. Treat your energy like you would money. Budget it. Save it. So how well are you sticking to the schedule that you have laid out for yourself with budgeting your currency of time? How are you saving it? How are you sticking with that budget? Like, okay, because your success is directly related to how well you're managing your life, your energy, your time. So, like, the best example that I have seen of this is Dan Kennedy. He's one of the living legends in marketing, direct response marketing. And he teaches a course on time management, which is phenomenal, by the way. And he talks about, like, my impression, if what he shares about how he lives his life is accurate, he has his day budgeted down to the 5 minute increment. So, like, I'm just kind of making this up based on my impression of hearing his time management system, him teaching it, maybe, I don't know, 8 months ago, a year ago, I don't remember when it was. But let's say like he gets up at 7 a.m. and between 7 and 7:20 a.m. he's writing a chapter for his next book. And then maybe from 7:20 to 7:30 he's on the phone with his whatever, like his administrator or his person who kind of manages his business for him. And then maybe from 7:30 to 7:45 he's writing an article for the whatever, his no BS marketing newsletter, let's say. And then 7:45 to, whatever. I mean, so like he might even budget 5 minutes for a phone call with maybe one of his clients or something. And and he's like, okay, what do you got? You got 5 minutes. And they know that they only have this amount of time, so then they're respecting that time and they're just getting right to it. And there's no deviance from his schedule. And I like saying it that way, like the UK schedule instead of schedule. It's more fun. It's more feels good. It just rolls off the tongue better. There's no wasting. There's no padding. There's no people taking from him more than what he has allotted for himself to give them. And I mean, and so he's like one of the most successful, one of the most wealthy marketers or gurus. And but he manages his time that well. And you have that ability to do that yourself, so do that yourself. Because your energy, your time, your life is true currency. So budget it, save it, find ways to increase it, invest it where you know you will get a positive return. When you value your energy like you would any other form of currency, you will be surprised at how much changes in your life. Our energy is our true currency. Money is just the symbolic representation of energy, and to be aware that this is why you pay attention. So pay wisely with your attention. I would encourage you to listen to this again and really hear this message and really go deep into how you are getting that positive return, protecting your energy like it's your money, and only investing your life force where you know you are getting a great return, like a 10x return or 100x return or 1,000x return on your life force invested. What would be equivalent of that? Like ROI, return on energy invested, ROEI. How about that? ROEI, return on energy invested. How does that feel to you? How are you hearing this message? What actions do you know are now required for you to live your life at that much, much, much higher level? So live your life that way. Let's talk about all of this in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. Would that serve you now to lead all your online friends through this action pod number 79, True Currency, protecting your energy like it's your money, and walking them through benefiting from this as much as you are now, where you're inspiring them, you're leading the conversation through our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. You can post about each of your thoughts, all of your thoughts on each of the points we're talking about here, and then in all of your posts that you're making, leading everyone you can through getting their lives in order and aligned and getting that positive ROEI themselves, return on energy invested. Then in all your posts, use your freeingthematrix.com money link because you're giving them the ability to become financially free as they are leading all of their online friends through transforming the lives of each of their online friends as well. And this is the most important work every one of us has ever done. This is the higher purpose of all of our lives. So I suggest this would be a very outstanding use of your energy. Do you agree? So share your thoughts about all this in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. Take all the posts you're making and send them to me in the essay you're sending me at dan@danclatt.com, and then share that essay with all your posts as well in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. Thank you for really hearing this. There's a lot here, and I want you to define your answers about how you are allotting your while allotting your energy into the four areas of your life each day and keeping to that budget, your success, prosperity, happiness, joy, fulfillment, well-being, peace of mind, impact, meaning, contribution are all coming from how you are managing your investment of your energy. So this matters more than anything else, I suggest. Do you agree? So share your thoughts about all this in the essay you're sending me, dan@danclatt.com, and post that essay in our freeingthematrix.com. We can go deeper into all of this, and let's talk about all of this because your answers will help others, and you're serving everyone by sharing this message. Thank you very much. I love you. I believe in you. I know how great you are as God's gift to the world, and that's your higher purpose, and now you're living that, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so inspired by everything that you're doing to serve humanity. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.